Welcome to Observing Technology. This show is designed to demystify technology by asking the questions you need answers to. We try to give you advice and show you the different sorts of technology that are on the market today. We're a project of the Capital PC User Group. One of the events that the Capital PC User Group has been involved with for many years are the Area Science Fair. CPCUG member Walt Hauser has been the coordinator of this effort for a long time. Walt, welcome to Observing Technology.
Thank you, Dennis.
Walt, what can you tell us about the local area science fairs and your long involvement with them?
Well, I find that the best part of the science fairs is meeting the young people and learning about their projects and getting a sense of their enthusiasm and love of science. And I think that CPCUG is privileged to have supported and recognized these young people. We get a lot of benefit from meeting them, and sort of invigorates the CPCUG. But the real reason is that I think these young people deserve and benefit greatly from recognition and encouragement. We give them a plaque and certificate and a check, membership, and but I think the biggest thing that we give them is the opportunity to present their projects to an audience of people, of appreciative adults.
Well, they're going to see it on this show too, because a little later on we're going to have the winners from Montgomery County, right?
And I'm very delighted that we're able to do this television show, because it's the first time that the Science Fair program has participated on cable TV.
Great, great. Well, CPCUG has been participating in this for a long time, though, haven't they?
Well, back in 1996 was when I got involved in this, and we've been doing it every year since then, with Montgomery County as well as Fairfax and Arlington and Alexandria and Loudoun County and Prince George's County and even the District of Columbia.
So we recruit others, or actually you recruit other CPCUG members. And this year we had close to a half a dozen of them out judging fairs.
Right. We had teams of 2 judges in each of the fairs, and 2 judges at Montgomery County, Rusty Romaine and Ken Rothermall.
Okay.
I'd like to thank them for their contributions. And then we had judges in Fairfax and Loudoun County and the Northern Virginia Fair.
Well, now, how does the judging work? I mean, do they look at, how many projects do they look at? What are the sort of the rules, the background?
Well, I keep the rules to a minimum, and we have no meetings.
Well, that's the best kind of volunteer.
Yes, I try to make it pretty painless, because I want them to focus on where they're going to get the best, benefit for their time, and that's meeting with the kids. So they basically, I give them, we have a website where we cover the basic process of judging and some general guidance. But we're looking for projects that would appeal to the CPCUG membership, and basically people who are interested in computing and modern technology. So we like to recognize projects that apply computers to various problems. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the computer science division. We've given awards in other areas: biology, geology, physics, etc.
Wow. Yeah, I know over the years we've had the science fair members at different events, and I've got to see, having been president of CPCUG now for what seems like too long.
I'm very grateful that you have been, because you've been a great supporter of this program.
We've had their exhibits at different events we've had them show up, and I am just stunned by what these kids are doing at that age. I know at that age, what I was doing, and I could, remember back those days,
right.
And I thought, my goodness, these are the kids I'm going to have to compete with for my next job.
It can be pretty scary, and a lot of the awardees that we've met have gone on to excellent education opportunities. They've gotten a lot of recognition from their schools, as well as gone to excellent colleges and even graduate study.
Yeah, sure. This whole science fair thing sure can't hurt to have it on your resume when you want to do a background. I'll have to remind my youngest one, who's looking to be a veterinarian, that this would be a good thing to get into.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because one of the reasons I got involved was that my son and my daughter too, both put in science fair projects in their schools, and I was really thrilled as a parent to see other organizations recognize my kids and their efforts, because although as a parent you can do a lot to encourage your children, and it's very important that you do so, it's even more special to the child and to have the recognition from someone who's not your parent, so that you could really say, well, they're not doing this just because they're mom and dad, but this project really is an interesting one to just the general public. So it's a great morale boost and a great bit of encouragement for these young people to continue their studies.
And how much time do you put? I know you put a fair amount of time in this, because this takes a little while, but
well, I spend time, basically the few hours a month for several months. A lot of it is recruiting new people, using our website to increase the visibility of the program, update the schedule, the calendars of events, and use of the Capital PC user group's mail list to send out announcements, and work with the various SIG chairs to recruit volunteers. All our judges are volunteers.
Yeah, that's great. Well, everything we do in CPCUG is volunteers. So.
Yes, right.
Much like MCT here, the TV station that we tape on. Can you give me a little bit of the process of how the judging, what does a judge have to do? I'm trying to line this up so we can get some volunteers from television here.
Oh, right. Well, you don't have to be a scientist to be a judge. Matter of fact, my major criteria is that you enjoy talking to young people and enjoy asking them questions, because they'll tell you, they know much more about the project than you or I will ever be able to learn, and the judging process is simply to learn what they're doing, see how articulate they are about expressing their what they've learned and what they've done to create this project. And as long as it's relevant to computers, we're very flexible about our rules and guidance to judges.
So you're going to be coordinating this for us into the future for the next few years, I hope.
If there are more television shows in the offing, that's certainly a very attractive.
Well, this is our third season, and we're planning another one, so we should be fine. Walt, where would our viewers, if they really wanted to find out more about this, do we have a website?
At the Capital PC User Group website, cpcug.org or cpcug.info.
Okay.
Then /user/ science fair or sci-fair.
Okay. It's on the screen now,
it's
so
on
they can write it down.
And they can write it down, and if you don't get the index.html, that's all right, because
that's the default.
That's the default.
Okay.
And you can get a list of. You can see the description of the program, and you'll get the list of our awardees there, and also we can. Indicate the counties and our points of contact with the various county organizations, county fairs.
Well, thanks, Walt. And stay tuned. Right after the break, we're going to talk to some of Montgomery County's young scientists. We're back with Joe Levy and Nick Latorette from Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Joe and Nick, I understand your winning project was called Application of Evolutionary Principles to Non-Biological Problems. Can you explain that to us non-scientists?
What we did for our project is we created a computer simulation of the process of evolution, in which the user will input traits of the environment, such as temperature, gravity compared to Earth, and then traits of a creature will be mutated, such as fur, blubber, muscle, and then each creature will be run through the environment you created, and depending on how well it did, the best 2 adapted creatures will be breeded together, and a new creature will be made. This, again, over and over, is run through the program, mutating and selectively breeding the creatures together until you find a perfectly adapted creature.
Okay, and how? What'd you guys do this in, Nick?
We did this in Java, which might not have been the best choice because Java is more object-oriented programming.
And why would that be a difference
and
from a programmer?
We didn't have many different classes, so we just kept to one class.
Okay.
After we were done doing the basis, like the evolution process, we also branched off into other areas such as physics and the economy.
Did some other models using the same evolutionary
principles.
Okay, and what happened then?
Well, instead of a creature's traits being evolved like fur, you'd be evolving traits of a projectile in the physics example, like the speed of the projectile, the velocity, and the angle and the time taken for it to explode right on the target. And the projectile traits would keep evolving and evolving until you had a projectile that was perfect for hitting a target that you had set under certain conditions, like its distance and gravity.
So you, at that point, evolved it into, the evolution met the problem, so to speak. It's a little different model, but the same concepts. What got you guys started Java programming?
Well, our school offers a computer programming course, and that's based in Java, so we just kind of did what we learned in school. Okay,
good. Did you use the GUI Java stuff, or was this
not for this project?
Line?
Was just command line, but we're working right now on another project involving evolution that actually uses GUIs and applets and such.
Okay, so that you'll be able to put up as a website, for example, because Java being a language that is an interpreted language, so to speak, it's actually something called P-code. It's the precompiled code. And what it advertises itself as write once, run anywhere, meaning it's cross-platform, runs on Unix, Linux, Windows, Mac, just about anything. Java programs run on cell phones, etc. You guys got any plans for taking this any further? Nick?
We were actually just talking about today how we might be able to apply it to a game to create an adversary, a computer adversary that was hardest for a particular player, like that would find their weakness and exploit
very interesting.
It would be a dynamic difficulty system where, depending on what your skills were, the enemies or whatever the conflict was in the game would evolve to be harder for you each level, depending on how you did against certain mutated creatures or problems.
Great. Well, that sure beats sports betting. Where I'd probably take it. But then I'm incorrigible on some of my programming tasks. How long did it take you guys to put this together?
It took us about 4 months.
4 months, wow.
Yeah.
And what did you use as the basis for your code and your idea? I mean, are you thinking up these algorithms, or are you like every other good programmer going out and finding some other things and borrowing bits and pieces here and there?
Well, we didn't base anything off any other programs that we've seen on the internet or from anywhere, but evolution itself is a process that already exists, and there's already theories about it, so we didn't really create our own process to find the perfectly adapted creature. We just implemented it in computer code.
Okay.
We also did. We also expanded the project a little bit by using different breeding algorithms to see which was fastest. So I guess you could say that was kind of like our own thing.
Well, yeah, and you want to see the results of it come out a little quicker. You don't want to wait forever. You want to see the results of how it goes. Now, do you program with interim steps in there where it evolves into one thing or something else and then something else again, or is it just traits that mutate?
You put in the environment that you want the creature to be adapted to in the beginning of the program, and right now in its current state, the program will just evolve it to be perfectly adapted to that environment, and then you aren't able to change the environment and have it re-evolve.
Okay.
But what it'll do is you can have it actually mutate or run through multiple times, and then compare the different traits of these two creatures that are both, or however many creatures, that are both perfectly adapted to this environment.
All right. Now, Joe, you're a junior, right?
Yes.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm a junior too.
Junior, too. So you guys are going to be in the science fair again next year?
Hope so.
I can't.
No.
I got an NIH internship.
Oh, poor boy.
This too.
But see, where this, this kind of stuff, when you're interested in this kind of thing, it does lead to, it looks good on your college resumes. You're going to get a DVD of this show to help, your star power around Bethesda and Chevy Chase High School. You'll be able to be the only guys that have been on TV on their own segment of a TV show. What other sorts of things you guys like to do at school?
I'm on varsity tennis and varsity chess. I'm on the chess team. So.
Okay, I played tennis in high school too. How about you?
I'm on varsity wrestling, and I'm very active in ATMS program in school, it's Academy of Technology, Math, and Science.
Okay.
Which is a program in which you, it's an extra curricular activity. It's actually as an 8th period, and you investigate different things in math, science, and technology, and you actually build a website.
Oh, cool.
Things
So
like that.
have you guys built your website yet? Or?
Not done. Still being
Not done?
built.
What do you
We're
do?
in the
What are you
process.
using to put it together?
Dreamweaver
Okay.
is what they have us using.
Okay.
in
Well,
school.
Dreamweaver is kind of the gooey part of it. The what you see is what you get design part of it. But you can typically use things like Java, behind the scenes. Probably the one you might be thinking of is something like PHP, a scripting language.
Yeah.
Be doing that. Very popular one. In fact, other than Java, because of its cross-platformness, PHP is second in terms of the languages that websites are developed in. It's also, of course, also cross-platform because it too is a scripting thing. And one of my favorites. I really like PHP. We're going to be doing a future show on some of the things out in PHP and some of the languages that you can do websites in, one of our future TV shows. So you'll want to definitely watch that one. I know as we talked before the show a little bit, you guys are kind of interested in furthering your knowledge in terms of programming and being able to put stuff together.
Definitely.
But you've got a real solid foundation with. Now, we've got a minute to go. Is there anything that you guys want to tell us about your involvement with the Science Fair project that was interesting?
This is my 3rd year in the science fair, and I found it to be very helpful in seeing actually how the science process the process works in developing a hypothesis and
Following it through and
Yeah.
doing the experimentation and coming up with, okay. And Joe?
This is also my 3rd year involved in the science fair. I only actually contributed 2 actual projects because my 3rd one wasn't passed. It didn't pass the
Okay.
all the paperwork. But the other 2 I got awards from
Cool.
CPCUG.
CPCUG, Capital PC User Group. Yeah.
Both times.
Great. So you're a 2-time winner, huh? Okay. Well, is there a website where people can learn more about what you guys are doing, since you're talking about
The
that?
website's currently in the works. It's not up yet. But if you have questions or comments, you can email me at jodoglevy@gmail.com.
Okay. Nick, you want a website, email, or anything that people could talk to you? You don't
find,
have to.
You can
but-
find some information on our project at the Science Fair website. The
Okay,
Montgomery
we
County.
have that on the CPCUG.org website. We have it linked there as well,
cool.
and your stuff too. Well, thanks, Joe and Nick. Next, we're going to talk with an even younger scientist, and you won't want to miss this. Okay, we're back with Brina Seidel, from a student at Tacoma Park Middle School. Brina, I understand that your winning project was called The Math of Monopoly, a computer simulation of the Monopoly game?
Yeah, I wrote a program that simulates the game Monopoly or the random dice rolls and a player's movement around the board. And it also factors in different aspects of the game, such as the go-to-jail square, the chance cards, community chess cards, and it keeps track of how many times each square is landed on, and finds the standard deviation of those numbers to find out how spread out the data is.
And you've been able to, with the help of your mom, I think, chart that out? Or did you do that yourself?
I did it myself,
Wow.
pretty much. Well, I've got a graph that's just of the different...
Right, we're going to show that on the screen so
Right.
that people can see it and we can talk about it.
Yeah, it shows just with the aspect of the game that I found had the most influence on the how many times each thing was landed on, each square.
And which one was that?
The go to jail square.
Go to jail had the most?
Yes. It's not really surprising because, as you can see on the graph, it's in the bars are in the order that they fall on the board. And you can see that the ones between the jail square and the go to jail square have been landed on more times than the ones that aren't between there, because if you go to the go to jail square, then you're automatically sent back to jail, and you travel through those properties again, so they've got a greater chance of being landed on.
Ah, okay, and that's why the simulation. Now, this is a program that you wrote, correct? Mm-hmm. And you're in the 8th grade?
Yeah.
Do you know what I do for a living? I'm a programmer.
Okay.
Uh-oh, I'm going to have some competition for a job, I think, pretty soon, huh? Is that the way, is that what you're looking to do for your later on?
Maybe. I don't really know.
You're not picking a career in the 8th grade quite yet, huh? I sure don't blame you there.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put your project together?
The program actually isn't that complicated. It's based on a series of arrays, which weren't that hard to put together.
Uh-huh.
We did a lot of programming at my school, which is a magnet program for math, science, and computers. So we learned how to do programming in class.
Okay,
So.
and this is in a version of BASIC, correct?
Yeah, True Basic.
True BASIC. Okay, so you're doing what we would call command line programming. Essentially, there's no GUI interface to it or nothing. You're using arrays, and I'm guessing loops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just loop through a lot of times, and
Yeah.
that simulates your roll of your dice. And random is another
Yes,
thing that you're doing a lot of. Okay, and you're randomizing your number 1 through 6. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the other things that you do, since this is Tacoma Park Middle School, is
Yeah.
it? Is the magnet school for computers here in Montgomery County in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. What other sorts of things do you do there?
Well, we pretty much just have different math classes and science classes, and we take a computer class, which are supposedly more accelerated, and we go on some extra field trips and stuff. It's kind of a more in-depth curriculum.
Cool. You like that sort of stuff?
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. What other sorts of things do you do at school?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't do anything else at school besides math? Wow. I might want to adopt you, because I have a daughter just about your age. Can't get her to do math and science.
You take all the other classes just like normal.
I know. But she wants to be a veterinarian, and she needs to take math and science classes. Unfortunately, her use of the computer is more IMing, instant messaging her friends. But you don't do that, right?
Of course not.
Now, your mom brought you here tonight. Did your
Yeah.
mom encourage you to get into this?
Yeah, she does. She judges the science fair in a different category for like meteorology, and so she's really into the science fair, and she always tells me to do a project every year.
Oh, cool. So you did this one, and you were one of the CPCUG winners. One of our youngest winners ever, by the way. That is pretty amazing. I mean, when I see, the skills that you have in the 8th grade, and I look back to when I had to learn that and how I had to learn that, it was pretty tough. But wow, I wish I could have had something like that. But unfortunately, when I was in the 8th grade, I think the Beatles were just coming out when I was about in the 8th grade. Okay? So it was probably 75 or 80 years ago. Now, for Tacoma Park Middle School, that's because that's a magnet school for the math and the science and all that. Is there a high school that has the math and science and computers? And are you going to that magnet high school, or planning to anyway?
That's Montgomery Blair High School. They've got a couple different programs there. One of them is the continuation of the Tacoma program. It's another application program. I applied and I was accepted.
Cool.
But I decided to go to my home school instead because it's pretty far away. It's a really long bus ride.
Yeah, that could be kind of tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you were saying, it's not that much different than some of the others.
No.
At least at middle school level,
Yeah.
it's not, huh? So how long have you been interested in computers and stuff?
I mostly applied to the Tacoma program for the sciences, but I got interested in computers through the class that we take. So.
Okay, do you have a computer at home?
Yeah.
Okay. And you do, oh, that's right. We just were fussing with your laptop here a few minutes ago, weren't we? Yeah, okay. Laptops are nice because you can kind of go all over the house, and you have wireless network at home and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Boy, kids are so lucky now. My daughters, they get so much with their stuff. Do you have brothers and sisters?
No.
No, only child. My goodness. Only child sitting there doing programming. Unfortunately, I can't even get my kids to clean their room, let alone do programming. Let's see. What kind of other things can we talk about? Did we talk about how long it takes you to put this together? You said it wasn't very difficult. It took more than a day?
Yeah.
Okay. A week?
Yeah, about, I guess.
About?
Well, I
Okay.
did it in several stages, not
Yeah.
all at once.
Tried little pieces of it to make
Yeah.
sure this part worked. So you were doing what we programmers call modular programming, where
Yeah.
you're doing a piece and testing it, doing
Yeah,
a piece
I
and
used
testing it.
sub-programs too, so.
Okay, some procedural
Yeah.
programming. Yeah, okay. So you're practically ready to get a job. Mom and Dad are going to put you out to work. Huh? Help out with that bus ride to the school. Actually, you probably won't have to take the bus because you're going to your home area school. My goodness, and you got in the science fair, and you're going to be a member of CPCUG as part of your our computer group. We hope that you decide that you want to come back to this show when you continue to win, because you can win all the way up through high school, can't you? Uh-huh. All right. And you already know what sort of tickles our fancy here in CPCUG. We like computer programmers, don't we? Okay. Great. Brina, thanks for sharing your project with us. We're going to have it up on the CPCUG website where people can learn a little bit about your project. Okay? Well, it looks like we've run out of time for this edition of Observing Technology. I'd like to thank my guests, Brina Seidel, Joe Levy, and Nick Latourette. I would like to especially thank Walt Hauser for his continued support of CPC's involvement with the Science Fair. As usual, you can contact us with your questions, suggestions, or requests at the address on the screen below. We'll see you next time on Observing Technology.